Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over some basic tips and tricks on how to get you started in Phantom Forces. Now, as you can tell, I am quite a high rank, so I think I would be fairly good and fairly skilled enough to say these certain things. Now, today we are going to start off with some basic setting changes that you should make. This includes the Roblox sensitivity as well as the game sensitivity itself, as well as some graphics fixes. Let's start off with the settings itself. If you don't know how to get to this menu that you're seeing on your screen right now, press Escape on your keyboard when you're in-game. Scroll down to graphics quality. Make sure this is set to manual. If you're having trouble running this game, I would recommend putting this graphics bar at 2 or 3 bars. This will give you a very good balance of performance and actual usability and visibility. Now, I have my sensitivity set to 0.36 in-game using the Roblox sensitivity itself. Some people will play at 1 or 2, and if you're brave, 4. Now let's look in the game settings themselves. You don't know how to get to the screen, just go in-game and click on settings. Now we're going to start off with the actual game sensitivity here. Mouse and look and aim sensitivity, I both have these set to 0.75. This is going to vary per person, but I like lower sensitivities. Then scroll down. This is something that a lot of players do not know of. Take your field of view slider. If it's all the way to the left, max it out all the way to the right to the point where you still maintain performance, but you get more visibility. This is simply to show you more of the map at once. And if you're having trouble running the game, you can always enable dynamic stance, and you can disable your vote kick and chat, which I have disabled all the time. A few other things: if you're having trouble running the game, you can disable your blood count, your specific parts of your HUD, your kill feed, your chat, your crosshairs, your shaders, and your camos, which you will not be able to see your skins after this, but if you are having that much trouble, you can disable it. And your spawn ragdolls you should probably have as disabled as well. Let's go back, and now that we have done that, let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty and basics, and let's try not to get killed spawning in. We've gotten a lovely spawn here. Let's just show you some of the most simplistic things you can do to increase your performance in-game. Let's start off with movement basics. Let's actually get indoors here. So, movement basics. You have, of course, WSAD and your mouse to look around. And then let's start off with real basic. C is to crouch. C twice is prone, and then back to crouch. And then space is, or shift, to stand. If you press Control when you're standing still, you go right to prone, and then space or shift to start back into standing. These two are very useful for getting into certain areas, or getting under things and taking cover. And if you have dynamic stance when you're holding your gun, you get a small lean, which allows you to look around corners a little better. Now, let's start off with this thing. You may be asking what I'm doing here. This is known as the slide. What you do here, you hold W, you hold Shift, which makes you run, and then you tap C, let go of Shift, and repress Shift. This is a slide. It's very simple, very easy to get handled. This can be useful sliding around corners. You can slide in all directions. You just hold Shift. You can hold S and press C, and you will slide backwards. Same with D and A. And then, of course, W. And on to the next map. Next thing we're going to be talking about is the very easy to comprehend and very easy to learn, but difficult to execute, diving feature. This is almost the same as the sliding feature. I don't know what you're doing. But instead of pressing C, you are going to press X, or Z, whichever you prefer. And this can only be done forward. You cannot dive backwards or left. No. It does not dive left or right, it just dives forward. That is a very simple feature. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the super jump. Basically the same thing as the dive, you just press space right before it. This works best when you're using a secondary, because then you can aim in to go right back to a sprint. What you do there is you do a super jump and then let go of Shift and repress Shift and then aim at the same time, and that puts you right back into a full sprint when you land. Simple things. Next thing we're going to be going over is this, moving side to side. also known as strafing. This can be useful for peeking enemies like this, or just keeping yourself in cover whilst trying to maintain balance. Okay, there we go. So, now it may not seem like much, we are just going over movement at the moment. However, movement is a thing that is lost among so many players in this game, and it really does show in their playstyle. Most low-ranked players I see that are not hacking, they don't know the sprint key, they don't slide, they don't dive, they don't super jump, they don't strafe, they don't do anything. So learning these moves is very, very useful. Next thing that is extremely useful in this game. Let's see if I can find an enemy here. Press E on your keyboard. What that will do is that will mark that enemy. As you could tell there, he had a red dot that appeared above him, as well as his name. That button there marks enemies on the radar and for all other players to see that may not have noticed them. We can just get back to our spot here. As you can tell, putting all the movement into play, it can vastly improve your speed in the game for one, and vastly improve your ability to see enemies. At the same time, always pay attention to footsteps in this game. I, for one, play with a headset, a surround sound headset, so it is very easy for me to know where somebody is based off footsteps, but even if you don't have surround sound, pay attention to footsteps. It's drastically useful. As you can see, the weapon that I'm using for this map is one of the new ones, new guns that released in the game. This is going to be the next thing that we are going to talk about, which is weapons. What weapons to use, when to use them, and what attachments to use on said weapons. Perfect timing. So now we can go back to the menu and speak of this. So if you don't know how to get to this, which I would be shocked if you don't, click on Weapon Loadout and you're taken to this screen. Here you have 4 classes as well as 4 subclasses within each class. Scout has, well, let's start off with Assault. They have assault rifles and battle rifles, carbines, and shotguns. Scout has PDWs, DMRs, carbines, and shotguns. Support, which is not a class I would recommend you use, has machine guns, not light machine guns, battle rifles, carbines, and shotguns. Recon class obviously has sniper rifles, DMRs, battle rifles, and carbines. You also have secondaries, pistols, machine pistols, revolvers, and others, which are shotgun pistols and 50 calibers. Now, starting off with the most basic weapons, let's start off with the AK-12. Now, this is a very powerful weapon. You may not know how to use it. This is a very strong weapon in its own, without attachments anyway. But does this work for you? Well, what kind of player are you? Are you a player that enjoys high fire rate guns, and you can aim said high fire rate guns? Well, then this is a gun for you. This has very low recoil and very high damage. Ignore the fact that mine has affected damage because I have armor-piercing rounds. But this gun is a very useful gun for beginners. Another beginner gun I would recommend is the G36K here. It's a very, very powerful carbine. And as well, once you get up to that, or just buy it, the Scar L. That is an insanely powerful gun. I very much agree with you using it. MP5K and the G36C are both really good PDWs. I don't use Support class anymore. I used to a long time ago. Recon class, I use clearly the Mosin a lot. And the AWM, I also have quite a few confirmed kills on it. Where is my highest kill? Yeah, here. 1,700 kills on the AWS, which is a little brother to the AWM. So, I am more of a sniper in this game, but I am very good with autos as well. Secondaries, the most useful and good secondaries I could recommend you is the M9 and the Glock 18, as well as once you get up to it, the MP1911 here. The Rex is very useful, as well as the Executioner, if you can aim it. And the Obras is basically the only one of these that I would actually recommend you use. All of these are complete trash, as well as the people that usually use them. You get into the higher ranked guns, like around the FAMAS level and the AUG level and the HK level here. The HK is one of the best assault rifles in the game. There is physically no way to deny it. And same with the PDWs. The P90 is very good. The MP510, that's not it, there it is. MP510 is extremely good. The AUG A3 Power is good. The Vector is amazing. As well as the new guns, which I am currently trying to level. So, attachments. Let's go down to the HK, because I have all attachments for it. Actually, no, let's use the SCAR. Now, barrel attachments for a beginner, I would recommend Compensator, because it decreases your horizontal recoil, it makes the gun easier to aim. I would recommend a stubby grip or a folding grip if you're going to use this, especially the folding grip. It just decreases your recoil even that more. Sight is complete personal preference. And for other, I would recommend you stick with the green laser. Never put a ballistic striker on your gun. You are pathetic if you do so. But the green laser is useful, especially if you're playing without crosshairs like I am. But I do not use the laser because I have had experience with it. Higher ranked guns, if you use the M231, you are insane. And the TAR is also a very, very overpowered gun in its own way. This one is currently almost at 400 kills with that, so we're doing fairly well. Alright, now, next thing, I cannot show this because I own every weapon in the game. However, you can buy weapons in this game. If you are going to buy a weapon and you're a really low rank, I would recommend you buy the SCAR L, the G36, the M16A3, or the AUG A3. These are the weapons that I would most recommend for assault rifles. PDWs, I would recommend you buy the, the normal MP5, the L2A3, the MP5 SD, the M3A1 if you're good at aiming, the MP510, and the Uzi, as well as the AUG A3 PAR are all very, very good guns. In DMRs, if you want to use a semi-auto rifle, I would recommend you buy the SL8, the MSG, or the TCR. The TCR is by far my favorite. Machine guns, I don't use any of these because I hate them with a passion. Rifles, if you're a good sniper, I would recommend you use a Remington or an AWM. Never use the BFG-50, the Hecate, or the M107 because these are all 50 cals and they require no skill to aim. If you really want a challenge, use the Mosin without a scope because the iron sights do help you aim much quicker. Battle rifles, I would recommend you use the SCAR H, the Henry 45, and the Val 50 if you want some recoil. For carabines, I would recommend you use the L22, which is highly underrated, SCAR PDW, the Groza 1, the Honey Badger, the SR3 with an extended magazine, and the Val 5063, again if you like recoil, as well as, if you can afford it, the X95R. If you don't know, this is how you buy credits in this game, and if you are going to buy guns, recommended you would buy the credits first rather than the guns. Going back to the weapons, we're going to be talking now about the best weapons currently in the game, and this is a top 5 list for Assault, Scout, Support, and Recon, and in order based on my opinion. So, starting out, we're going to do number 5 on the Assault list here. G36 takes it easily. This is a very high power rifle with very low recoil once you get used to it, and it can be extremely, extremely good. Next, at number 4, AUG A3. Again, this thing has very, very little recoil, and it is very fast firing. You just have to deal with its damage. Number 3 is going to 100% be the, the SCAR L. This thing is very powerful. Whilst it has a little more recoil than the others, it is extremely, extremely good. So, at number 2, where is it? The HK416. This was my favorite assault rifle for a very, very long time. 4,000 kills nearly. Probably should level that to 4,000. And then coming in at number 1, well, actually, wait for the victory screen to go away. At number 1, we have the TAR-21. This is the new assault rifle. This is my absolute favorite in the game at the moment. Very high fire rate, low recoil, very easy to use. Scout, best, top 5. Now, at number 5, this is going to be a bit of a weird list. Number 5, P90. Extremely low recoil, high mag size, and very much good damage. I would just recommend you use this if you're a beginner. Use it without a sight, though, because the irons are actually pretty good. Coming in at number 4, the L2A3. I don't know why I have a vertical grip on this, but I do. This is a very underrated SMG. It's very powerful. Coming in at number 3 for this one, the MP510. This was my favorite SMG for quite a while, actually. And I just agree that it's quite powerful, especially at close range. Coming in at number 2, let me see if I can find it, the AUG A3 Para. This is a minimized AUG A3, very powerful, very good. Short and sweet, that thing is. And obviously the best SMG at the moment is the X95. I had an almost 90 kill game with this not too long ago, so I quite like it so far. Support, coming in at number 5, the RPK-74. This thing is loud, it's brash, and it's great. It's great fun to use. Coming in at number 4, the RPK. Another RPK. Very loud, very brash, but very fun to use. And yet another RPK at number 3, the RPK-12. This is a fairly low-ranked SAW, and again, very fun to use. Coming in at number 2, the Colt Light Machine Gun. Just because 60 rounds, it's very powerful, very fast, it's quite fun to use. I don't recommend you use it. I don't use it anymore because it gets annoying after a while. And obviously the best machine gun in this game, the best SAW, is the good old AUG H-Bar. I don't have too many kills on this, but that's because I haven't used it in a while. But I definitely still agree that it is one of the best rifles. Recon, coming in at number 5, the AWS. While it has a ton of drop-off, the thing is very powerful. Unfortunately, it does not seem to one-tap to the body at close range anymore, but I have not used it in a while, so I don't know. Very, very good, in my opinion. This was my favorite sniper for a very long time. Number 4, the Steyr Scout. This is a very, very powerful rifle, but it 3-taps to the body. You need to hit your headshots if you're using this. It's basically a faster Mosin. Coming in at number 3, where is it? The Remington? Why do I have a ballistics tracker on that? That must have been a friend's setup. It's trolling. Remington is a very good gun if you can use it with the drop-off. I don't have too many kills on this thing, because I haven't used it in a while. I've been using the AWM. But again, no problem with this rifle at all. Very, very fun. Coming in at number 2, the AWM. Way above its little brother on this list. Very, very good rifle to use. As you can see, I'm almost at 1,000 kills with it. Next, in at the number 1 spot, the best rifle in the game is the Mosin Nagant. Especially without a scope, it is extremely powerful. Very, very quick reload, very high damage. Unfortunately, does not one-tap to the body at close range, but it is an instant tap to the head. Yeah, the best kind of rifle. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some simple things, just a few good tips when you're playing this game. I see far too often people that look at attachments and they just, let's say you just unlocked the vertical grip. You just got that. And they think, wow, that's a new attachment, must be a good thing. And then they put it on, and then they're wondering why they get killed all the time. Make sure you use attachments that actually help your gun and help your progress, not just any attachment you get. Like for me, stuff like the low recoiled angled grip will work, or a folding grip will work. Next thing is, if you're ready, squad deploying is a very useful thing. Put you right in the center, right in the heart of battle. Immediately. And that, for me, is good, because I like getting battles. I like getting right into the heart of battle and getting kills. If you're not ready for that, don't squad deploy. Another simple thing that I can tell you that any professional player should be able to tell you if they're not trash, don't use this, okay? Don't, no, don't. This is the ballistics tracker. What it does is it tells you exactly where to aim to get a headshot. Don't use that. It's not useful, doesn't help you, so don't bother. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here. Make sure that you always hit that like and subscribe button when you're watching my videos, and stay tuned. The next video we're going to make is going to be on this gun here that I'm using, which is the... Good job guys. The TAR, the new assault rifle that's in the game. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.